After the storm ended, after the ark rested, after the rainbow appeared. 3 men stepped into a silent world. No cities. No crowds. No nations. Just 3 brothers, and the future of humanity resting on their shoulders. Their names were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And through them, the world began again. A world reset. Genesis tells us that after the flood, Noah and his sons stepped onto dry ground. The earth had been cleansed of violence, but it was also empty. God gives them a familiar command, be fruitful and increase in number and fill the earth, Genesis 9 verse 1. It echoes the command given to Adam. This is more than repopulation. It is a second beginning. Shem, Ham, and Japheth are not just Noah's sons. They are the fathers of the post-flood world. Every tribe, every language, every culture in Genesis traces back to them. The world we know begins with 3 brothers. The family fracture. But even after the flood, human weakness remains. Genesis records a troubling episode. Noah becomes drunk and lies uncovered in his tent. Ham sees his father's nakedness and tells his brothers. Shem and Japheth respond differently. They walk backward into the tent and cover their father without looking at him. It is a brief moment, but it reveals something deep. The flood removed violence from the earth, but it did not remove brokenness from the heart. Respect, honor, and shame still shape human relationships. When Noah awakens, he speaks blessings and consequences over his sons. These words shape the direction of their descendants. The story reminds us that even in a new beginning, character still matters. The Table of Nations. Genesis 10 is often called the Table of Nations. It lists the descendants of Shem, Ham, and Japheth and traces how they spread across the earth. From Japheth come peoples who move outward into distant lands. From Ham come powerful civilizations, including Egypt and Canaan. From Shem comes a line that will eventually lead to Abraham. What may seem like a long genealogy is actually a powerful declaration: humanity is connected. Different languages. Different lands. Different cultures. But one family. Genesis shows that diversity was not an accident. It was part of humanity's expansion across the earth. The Tower of Babel. Then comes the story of Babel. As people multiply, they gather in one place and decide to build a city and a tower that reaches to the heavens. Their goal is clear: let us make a name for ourselves. The problem is not architecture. It is pride. Instead of filling the earth as God commanded, they concentrate power. Instead of honoring God's name, they elevate their own. So God confuses their language. Communication fractures. People scatter across the earth. The tower remains unfinished. This moment explains why nations exist. Why languages differ. Why cultures are unique. But it also reveals a pattern: humanity still struggles with pride. Even after judgment. Even after rescue. Even after promise. The heart still drifts toward self-exaltation. What Shem, Ham, and Japheth represent. These 3 brothers represent the beginning of the nations. Through them, the earth fills with life again. Civilization grows. Cities rise. Culture expands. They remind us that every person on earth shares a common origin. No matter our background, language, or nation, we are part of the same human family. Genesis quietly dismantles the idea of superiority. All nations flow from the same roots. All share the same dignity. All share the same weakness. And from Shem's line, a new chapter will begin. One family will be chosen, not because they are better, but because God's promise is moving forward. The scattering at Babel sets the stage for a future blessing that will reach every nation. Closing reflection. 3 brothers walked into a new world. They carried hope. They carried weakness. They carried the future. From them came every tribe and tongue. Every empire and every village. Every conflict and every act of compassion. Their story reminds us that humanity is divided by language, but united by origin. We all come from the same beginning. And though pride once scattered the nations, the promise of Genesis moves toward restoration. Shem, Ham, and Japheth show us that history is not random. It unfolds generation by generation, family by family. And the same God who preserved humanity through three brothers still guides the story of nations today. The flood ended. The earth was empty. But hope stepped off the ark and began again.